It's awfully cool out here. But you know what's even cooler? The Student Station on Canton Community Television.
This program is brought to you by Canton Community Television, now from the television studios of Canton High School.
Welcome to the Dog Pound. I'm your host, Carlos Mendez, and today we have CHS track captain, Soraya Macruz. Soraya, welcome to our show.
Happy to be here.
You know, Soraya, I heard you run track and stuff, right? So I'm here to ask you a couple questions about, track in your upcoming track season. So, first question. Explain why you joined track in the first place.
Well, ever since I was little, I've kind of always been running. Like, I have 6 siblings, and I used to race them all the time, like out in the field or like when we used to go like to the playground. And I always won. I always dusted them every single time. And then once I got to middle school and I had my first meet, I ended up winning that one as well. And that's when I realized I was actually pretty good at track, and I decided to continue to pursue that once I got into high school.
So you started being more competitive about it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. My second question is, explain how you feel about track compared to other sports.
Well, I feel like compared to other sports, track is more of a single sport. Like, it's more about like what you contribute to the team, as well as like if you decide to put in the extra work yourself. Or like for basketball, it's more of a team-wise type sport. But track, of course, we still want to win together as a team, and we still have relays, but it's more about what you contribute to yourself, your times, what you put in. And I feel like that's what mainly separates track from other sports.
Okay. Is there another sport you played before track?
I used to play basketball, but that was just back when I was in 8th grade.
Okay. Now, how would you compare yourself today to last year's season? Describe your improvements and what still you want to work on.
Compared to last year, I feel like I've definitely gotten better. I used to like not be so open to things. Like last year, my coach put me in the 300-meter dash, and I told her I didn't want to do it. I wasn't really open to try new things. I kind of just wanted to stick with what I thought I was good at. And then this year, I got more open to it. I decided to run the 300-meter again, which I ended up really liking. My endurance really improved. It didn't used to be as good as it was last year, but this year it's totally better. But I do need to work on my starts. I've been trying to get better at those. I'm not really where I want to be yet, but definitely better than last year's.
Is there anything that was going through your head while your coach told you you were going to run like something different,
Honestly, I was kind of upset. I was like I said, I was very close-minded. I didn't want to try new things. But now this year, I'm definitely open-minded to those type of things and like new races.
Okay. Now, can you discuss the experience of being able to compete with your friends?
When I went to nationals.
Sure.
Honestly, it was actually super cool because we went to Pennsylvania. So it was like out of state. It was pretty far away. And having like friends with you while you're in a totally different state is like super fun. We all went swimming together, which was pretty cool. And then there's this villa in front of the hotel we were at, and we kind of like hung out there together for like a little bit before the race started. And then when the race did start, of course we hung out at the meet. So it was like super cool being with my friends that day.
You got out to be like in a different whole state, a whole new experience, right?
Yeah, it was very interesting. Yeah.
Okay. Now that you said that you earned the honor to go to nationals, describe the process of being selected for that honor. Is there anything you have to go through?
Okay, so it was like a really big, long process. In order to go to nationals, you have to like meet a certain time standard, and I think the time standard was like, I don't remember it exactly, but I know it was like a 49.8 something. And I remember my coach, Anna, she told us that we might have a chance to qualify for it at the beginning of the year. And so since the beginning of the year till the end of the year, every meet we had, we were trying to meet that qualifying standard. And we were getting closer each meet. We hadn't made it yet, but we were getting closer. And we were PRing every meet. And then I think we officially made it the one meet before nationals, the one meet before nationals is when we officially made it. So it was a really long process to get there, but we definitely had hope. Anna definitely had hope because she kept pushing us towards that goal. And yeah, it was a pretty long process.
Okay. Can you explain what you felt and what went through your head when you were told that you were going to nationals?
Okay, so I didn't really comprehend the fact of what nationals was. Like, obviously, I was super happy that we made it, but I didn't comprehend what nationals really had to offer, what it really was until I got there. And then that's when I realized how big of an opportunity it was and how great it was and how, like, amazing that we qualified was, how it was. And so, yeah, I didn't really comprehend it at first.
Okay. After the race, right? Explain how you felt. Like, were there things you hope you did better? Were there things you congratulate yourself about?
After the race, I was actually kind of sad. Because, like, we went out there and we ran the 4x1, right?
Yeah.
And I was the first leg, and so my leg lasted about 12 seconds. So after 12 seconds, I was already done. And I was kind of sad because, like, it was the last meet of the season. So I was sad, obviously, that track was already over in 12 seconds. But besides that, obviously, it was super fun. Just being there, like, when we walked out into, like, the field, because we were at, what was it? I forget what the facility was called, but we were there, like, at where collegiate athletes compete. So there are, like, you know, celebrities there.
Yeah.
Track celebrities there that have competed there. So, like, stepping out onto the field was, like, super cool. And it was, like, super fun. I was trying to, like, engulf in, like, the, you know, like, where we were. And so, obviously, I was really sad that in 12 seconds it was over. But, yeah.
Okay. Now, you know, like you said, this whole track, it's not all about, like, yourself. It's about, like, you know, teammates, too. It's like a relay race, right?
Mm-hmm.
So tell us how you, now that we talked about that, can you tell us how you're getting prepared for the upcoming season?
Okay, so for the upcoming season, we've only had about 2 meets. And what we're obviously doing is at practice, Anna's obviously making us do workouts so that, like, we're in shape. Since I run the 300-meter now, and that's more of an endurance race, she's doing more of endurance practicing, lots of block starts because I run the 55-meter, which is all about block starts. All about block starts. And so, yeah, that's what I'm doing to prepare at home. Sometimes I go home and I have, like, this little gym right next to me. And I go there so that I can work on my strength because strength equals speed. Without it, you can't really be fast.
Okay.
You know? So that's what I'm doing to prepare for the next upcoming season.
Okay. Is there points in, like, practice where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore, you know?
Yes.
Is there, like, good things where, like, you know what, it's worth it being here?
Honestly, I feel like that every day. Because, like, obviously I love going to practice. I love everything about track. I love the people. I love my coach. It's just sometimes I am like, oh, I'm kind of tired, you know, because it is like a 5-day thing. Yeah. And sometimes we're even out there in the rain, you know. But in the end, I am actually pretty happy that we are out there because we're getting better, you know, getting faster, getting closer to, like, goals I have for myself and, like, what I want to reach in the future. So I am actually pretty glad that we are out there, even if it is raining, you know. I love going to practice.
Can you tell us, like, is there a certain, like, days that you practice, like, is there certain days that you just run or there's certain days that you just, like, work out?
So yeah, so each day is different. Usually we have our workout days on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which is where we'll run, like, some days we'll do, like, 3 100s and then, like, a 150, a 250. Those are usually, like, our hardest days where we're just running hard over and over and over and over. And it does hurt. It really it really hurts. And then, like, after the days after we have our workout days, we usually have a more chill day where we're either working on, like, block starts, like I said, or sometimes we're on the grass and we're doing lots of form because form helps you run faster. And so, yeah, so we do have hard days and we do have easy days. They're not all the same.
Okay. Tell us, what are some expectations and goals that you have for this upcoming season for yourself and your team?
I do hope that our team qualifies for nationals again, which I know is kind of tough, but I really love for us to go there again, especially for indoor, since we went for outdoor last year. I want us to try to go for indoor this year. But even if we don't, outdoor is my most sport. So that's one of my goals. Another goal is to hopefully qualify for state for like an open. I usually qualify for like relays, but I want to try to go to state for like one of my open events. So that's something I'm really trying to pursue. Hopefully that happens.
Okay. Now, can you tell us how coaching made you a better athlete?
Like my coach?
Yeah. Can you tell us how she made it a better sport to you?
Anna, her name's Anna. She's my coach. But like I said, she did open my mind to more things. Like when I was talking about the 300 meter earlier, she was right. I wish I listened to her last year when she was trying to tell me. I was kind of skeptical about it. But yeah, she really like pushes me in areas I probably would have never decided to go to myself. So I'm really grateful for that, for her.
Now, looking back at your career, tell us some unforgettable moments from track.
Okay, well, number one, definitely going to nationals. Like I said, that's probably my top tier. The second one was when we competed at the Reggie Lewis Center, which is like this indoor track, because I had never done indoor track until I competed here at Canton, and I never knew what an indoor track looked like, so I thought that was pretty cool, pretty unforgettable moment, definitely.
Now, do you hope to go to college and do track if you're thinking of going to college?
That's a pretty that's a good question. I've been like super back and forth with it, honestly. Like I don't want to lose track because I feel so. I've been running track for about like 7 years, like my whole life, and I don't really want to let go of it. But also a part of me is like maybe I should, but I don't know. We'll see. I do want to be in the position where I'm able to choose, So I want to still want to have a good time so that I can possibly be committed. But to answer your question, I'm actually not really sure.
Okay, that's fine. Well, Sarah, thank you for your time. We wish you well in the future. From Canton Community Television, I'm Carlos Mendez. Thank you for watching.
Joe Blizzard, Viola. Anthony DeLefio, Liam Doherty, John Cini, Tyler Finland, Tyler Kelly, Andrew Ernst, Brandon Marshall, Carlos Mendez, Carolyn Fallon Smith, James Young, and Colin Dennis.
This is Canton Community Television, Student Station. Now it's time for Word of the Week.
Ambiguous means unclear or inexact.
Kitties and puppies. Yo, teach. What are we doing? I'm lost. I'm absolutely lost.
The students are extremely confused why Mr. Owens is meowing and teaching them about kitties and puppies during their math class.
This is so ambiguous, Teach. Where do the kitties and puppies belong?
According to the students, the result of the lesson that was being taught by Mr. Owens was ambiguous.
Welcome to the Dog Pound. I'm your host, Anthony Delizia. Today in the Dog Pound we have Canton varsity basketball captain, Julius Hicks. Welcome to the show, Julius.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Describe to us how you as captain feel coming into this season and how you are going to make a difference.
So I definitely feel good about the upcoming season. I feel like we have a very talented team this year. We definitely have depth. As a captain, I feel like I'm going to bring a lot of positivity and like good character to the community. I definitely feel like we're going to perform well, but we'll have to wait and see.
Explain how the team can come together as a group during the season.
Definitely through positivity and hard work. Unfortunately, as a lot of people know, we missed the playoffs last year, and not really because of us, but because like disqualification, MIA rules, and other stuff. But I definitely feel like we can come together through positivity, and we just have to be humble. So,
Who's one of the best players on the team and why?
we have a lot of good players on. One of the best players on the team is, I'd say, Matt Chafin, co-captain. The reason why Matt is so good, not just because he can score, but because of like his mindset, and he's one of the most humble kids I know. He works really, really hard, and he's one of the smartest players on the team, so that's what makes him really good.
Tell us who you think will be the toughest team to play this season in the Hawk and why.
Oh, sheesh, that's hard. So definitely Franklin's up there. Mansfield's always going to be there. I think a lot of people are overshadowing Sharon because it's Sharon, but they're a powerhouse offensively. But I think the toughest team to play will be Franklin because of their offensive prowess. They can all shoot. They're all athletic, and they're all like smart, moving without the basketball. And that's one thing like that a lot of people emphasize in the Hockomock League when it comes to basketball. Like, it's not like city ball or street ball, like where you're just like ball dominant. Like, you have to move without the ball. Like backdoor cuts, slips, all that. And Franklin executes very well, so I think they're going to be really tough.
Describe how you felt when you found out you wouldn't be able to play your junior year.
I was definitely heartbroken because I was projected to have a really, really good junior year, and to figure out that I wouldn't be able to play definitely sucked. Tearing your ACL is like almost a career-ending injury, and I'm glad that I fought back to recovery, but definitely that moment when I heard that like I was gonna have to sit out like the whole year, it stung a lot.
Explain the process through your recovery when you tore your ACL.
Okay, so I was out for, I believe, 9 whole months, and at first, like the first 2 weeks that I got surgery, I was in a knee brace, and I was like using a CPM machine to like bend my knee, like to get my range of motion. After that, I went to physical therapy. I didn't walk without crutches until 3 weeks after the surgery. When I was starting to walk without crutches, I started doing like mild exercises. That's when I really thought like, oh, like physical therapy is gonna be a piece of cake. But then like when it got time to be like September and like October, like before tryouts, that's when my physical therapist, because I give a lot of credit to my physical therapist because he was really trying to get me back. So like after that, we started really like going hard on conditioning. And that's when it was just like, oh shoot, like I really gotta like get going. Like, so we started doing like a lot of high knees exercises, treadmill, leg presses. Like I was leg pressing my own body weight at 4 months. So it was really like physical therapy was really, really hard on me mentally because I was trying to gain like all my strength back in my leg while keeping my healthy leg as strong as my injured leg. But after like going to physical therapy, it was just like in my mindset, no matter how hard it was really like just me like, oh, this is another day to get better, no matter like if it was hell or not. So
Who do you think is the hardest worker on the team and why?
definitely Keith Hannon, because no matter like the tasks that we have to do or like where we are or like what day it is, like Keith is always the first one in the gym and usually the last one to leave the gym. Keith works out every single day. Keith plays basketball almost every single day. His character is like up here, just like all my teammates is, but Keith just like is so humble. He doesn't talk about much. He just does. So definitely Keith.
Compare this season's team to last season's team and what will be different.
Oh, that's a good question. I believe what will be different about this season's team is I believe, respectfully, the chemistry will be better just because, like, all these guys, like, all of us have been playing together for so long collectively. Yes, like, last year's team, like, they were playing, like, you know, in grade school together, but, like, our guys have played, like a lifetime together, like, and then some. Like, adding, like, me or guys like Jamal, Zaza, Ashton, like, we're, like, coming into the fold, like, to, like, guys like Caden, Gillis, and Chafin because they've been playing together their whole life. But, like, me, Ashton, Kareem, like, and Jamal, like, we're, like, transfers because I came my freshman year. So I went straight to JV with Matt, and then me and Matt got close. And, like, now me and Matt's chemistry is, like, on fire. I just genuinely believe, like, chemistry will be, like, the biggest difference.
Explain a major setback you had in basketball and how did that change you?
So I believe the obvious answer will be my ACL injury, but so this setback really, like, helped me, like, take basketball serious. So before I moved to Canton, I lived in Randolph, and my 8th grade year, I actually got cut from my travel team, and it really made me really reevaluate, like, my love for basketball. Because when you get cut from, like, no one likes to get cut from a sport. Like, whoever experiences that, they know, like, how hard it is and, like, how hard, like, of a pill it is to swallow. And after I got cut from my travel team, I started to, like, play basketball, like, every single day to make sure, like, it wouldn't happen again. And then that's when I, like, came in to Canton. And, like, I went to, like, every single morning shoot-around. I went to every single lift session with Coach Hughes. I started playing basketball after school every day. Like, that really, like, made me find my love for the game.
Tell us about your journey through Canton basketball for the past 4 years.
Okay, so, like I said numerous times, I came freshman year. I was one of 3 kids in my grade to make JV. It was me, Matt Chafin, and Aiden Jeanette. And we played the whole JV season together. Me and Matt were starters. The next year, the COVID year, was a really tough year. So me and Chafin actually got split up. So Matt was on JV, and I got brought up to varsity, and I was the only sophomore on varsity. And we had 11 games in that varsity season, but I was making my way into, like, the rotation more so. So I was projected to have a big summer and, like, a big upcoming season for the next year. And then 2 days before the first summer league game, my junior summer, I tore my ACL in an AAU tournament. So when I tore my ACL, obviously I was out for the whole year, but I was still, like, with the team. I was the handshake guy. So I was still there for all my guys. But after that, I got cleared this April, and I'd say I had a good summer, I had a good fall, and now we're leading up to, I think, like 8 days until senior season. So
Tell us about a teammate you're excited to play with this season and why.
I'm excited to play with all my guys. I think I'm definitely excited to play with Kareem Porter because Kareem is probably top 3 tallest guy in the Hawk, right? He's like 6'7". So that's always gonna be fun to work with. Kareem works really hard. He gives it his all every time he's on the court. He also has a lot of promise, and I feel like he works hard enough to the point where he'll, like, fulfill that promise. And he, in my opinion, he's the most important player on this team, and he'll definitely, like, thrive this season. And he's gonna be the defensive anchor, so we all, like, feed off of each other's energy. We'll be just fine. So I'm definitely excited to play with Kareem.
Explain the first time you got into basketball and how did it change you?
Okay, so the first time I got into basketball was I think when I was 2 years old. My dad, before he passed away, he worked at BB&N in Cambridge, and he put a basketball in my hands and he lifted me up to dunk the ball. And ever since then, I have a picture. Unfortunately, we don't have it right now. But ever since then, I just held on to basketball ever since I was little. So I think my love for the game comes through my father, essentially. Because no matter my mom has been I love my mom to death, but she's been involved with basketball ever since my dad was alive, and she still doesn't even know that much about it. So I definitely think I got through it because of my dad. So.
Well, I can't thank you enough for your time today, Julius. We learned that this new team is going to have a different fire in them this season.
Appreciate that.
For Canton Community Television, this is
You're watching the Student Station on Canton Community Television.
Hi, my name is Gavin. Falls. I have a 20-year-old sister. I have an A in Mr. McDonough's class. I live in Japan. Which one was false?
Gavin's lie was he does not live in Japan. He actually lives in Canton in the United States.
I am the best substitute teacher at Canton High School, and you should be watching Canton Community Television.
This program is brought to you by Canton Community Television, now from the television studios of Canton High School.
Welcome to the Dog Pound. I'm your host, Brendan Marshall. Today, I'm here with Jack Feeney, an enthusiastic Celtics fan. We are going to talk with him today about his favorite team. Jack, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure.
Describe how you got interested.
My dad just showed them to me when I was little, and I really started watching them when Kyrie Irving joined.
Last season, Robert Williams got injured in the playoffs. How do you think that affected the Celtics?
I think it really affected the Celtics because he's a defensive anchor, very important to the team, and it was a big loss.
Describe how you think Joe Mazzulla will lead the Celtics this year.
I think he'll lead them great, He was an assistant coach. I believe he played D2. I think losing Ime Udoka was a big loss, but I think Joe Mazzulla will really step up.
Explain how much of an impact will Malcolm Brogdon have on the Celtics?
He'll have a big impact. I think he's a perfect player for the Celtics because he knows he can make, veteran player. His injury history is tough, but I think he'll provide a lot.
Who do you think is the better player, Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum? Why not? Why?
I think it's definitely Jason Tatum, even though he's kind of inconsistent. One night he'll go for 40 points, and the other night he might go for 3, but that's all right. But I feel like both Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum work great together.
Do you think that the recent finals loss will motivate the players or bring them down? Why or why not?
I think it will motivate them a lot because they were that close, and I think the Celtics, their organization, they don't tolerate losing, so I think it will bring them up and inspire them to do great.
Describe how much of an impact does Al Horford have on the team as a veteran?
I think he does a great job defensively and offensively. He really teaches the younger guys how to play, even though he's pretty old, But I feel like he does a great job.
Do you think Grant Williams deserves a contract extension? Why or why not?
I think he absolutely does. He's really improved over the past couple years, especially in his shooting. And I think that he brings a lot of good off-court chemistry to the team.
All right. So obviously Celtics fans can go a bit over the top sometimes. Do you think that they can be a bit too much sometimes or just perfect?
I think they're absolutely perfect. I don't think they go over the top at all because it's just part of the game, and I think it's a great part of the game.
What trade should the Celtics make at the deadline this year?
They should probably trade for a backup center because, like, Robert Williams, he's injury prone, and Blake Griffin and Al Horford are old. So I feel like if they trade for a young center, that would be a great addition to the team.
Describe how Blake Griffin has affected the Celtics this year.
I don't think he's done much on the court, but he's definitely helped the young guys and guided them on what to do throughout the season. And I think that it was a great signing by the GM.
How do you think the season will end this year?
I think we'll end with a championship if Robert Williams comes back, because I just can't see it ending any other way because the Celtics are the best team right now.
Jack, we thank you for your time today. We learned a lot about our home team. For Canton Community Television, I, Brendan Marshall. Thanks for watching.
James Young.
I'm Ernst, and you should be watching Canton Community Television.